Afrobeats is officially international, penetrating US and UK charts with collaborations from Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, and Beyonce. It is clear to see Afrobeats is here to stay. But how can it become more globalized? And more importantly, when it does become globalized, what can African musicians do to prevent this genre from being appropriated?
Nigerians are amongst the most traveled people on earth, where we're everywhere in every country. So I think it travels where our people travel. Whether you're in Malaysia or Australia or Sardinia, there's an African there, or there's a group of Africans there, meaning there's a club that's playing Nigerian music somewhere. So the music is very well traveled.
When Justin Bieber was featured on the Song of the Summer, Wizkid and Tems Essence, a lot of people said the song didn't need no other body. A play on the song lyrics. A lot of Africans on social media feel as though Afrobeats doesn't need anyone. It doesn't need any acceptance from anyone. It's been accepted in Africa. It's penetrating in Africa. It's so successful in Africa. A lot of Africans do not see the importance of Afrobeats penetrating across the world. So why is it important?
It's important for it to be accepted, not just by American audience, by everybody, by a global audience, because that's how these artists, like I said, will earn ultimately. It's like, America is, just going back to your question, America is known as the global music market in the sense that when you blow in America, when your music pops in America, you pretty much have popped everywhere else, because everybody else looks to America to digest their music, right? Whatever's on the Billboard charts is kind of what will play in Ghana. It's what will play in, Brazil. It's what will play in Japan. Do you understand? So it's like everyone looks to America for guidance on the direction of music, essentially. So yes, in that sense, it's important for music to definitely blow and be accepted by the American music audience, for sure.
The disadvantage of Afrobeats going global is cultural appropriation, which we've seen had poor effects. We saw that happening with rock and roll. We saw it happening with soul music. We've seen it happen time and time again to Black music. So how can this be prevented? And is it even important for it to be prevented? A lot of these American musicians are fusing an Afrobeat sound into their music. It's like they're appropriating it because they're not really crediting any Afrobeats artists. Like the song by Doja Cat, Woman, is that not an Afrobeat song, right? So I'm seeing a lot of this and I think we have to look at it the way that rock and roll was appropriated from Black people, the way that hip hop has now been appropriated for Black people. We have to look at that and just ensure that not that we stronghold it, but that I don't think that people can just steal Afrobeats that easily. Doja Cat has the ability to sound like anything, so she can really fuse into that Afrobeat sound. But I feel like most artists will sound ridiculous if they do an Afrobeat song without an Afrobeats artist, because they won't know how to navigate it authentically. But at the end of the day, even if it's not authentic and it's popular, that could be a problem. I'm a little bit mixed on this because I think there are pros and cons to colonization, right? Because the pros of colonization, and if we actually look at it historically, even just the Roman Empire colonizing, the British Empire colonizing, is that it creates bridges internationally and creates globalization.
Africa as a whole, there's so many languages spoken, there's so many barriers and different cultures that unless you're at the top tier of artistry, i.e. the Wizkids, the Davidos, the Burna Boys, you're not you can't just see a middle level artist without naming any names. You can't just see a middle tier artist touring in a bunch of countries. A continent like South America, right, where there's it's majority Spanish speaking, then Brazil speak Portuguese. Artists like Bad Bunny, J Balvin, Becky G, these artists don't need to touch America because there's 500 million people who listen to that music. They have touring routes, for weeks, and they don't need to see a day in America and they're fine. They make a lot of money. America is like an added bonus for them, right? But they don't need it.
Yes, while that is a pro of colonization, there are many, many cons. The problem with it is that only a small group of people benefit from it. So I think the idea here is that if we're going to let the West utilize Afrobeats as they're using it now, and right now all the big artists are being respectful. They're always doing collaborations with Afrobeats artists, from Beyonce to Ed Sheeran, they're Justin Bieber. They're all being respectful to the originators of the sound, right? And they're always making sure they have features with them. But I will say that is going to stop happening, and we've already seen Doja Cat rip off an Afrobeat song. Afrobeat artists and the industry just have to be alert and ensure that they're not exploited and they're not colonized. I almost don't want to say, I don't want Afrobeats to make the mistake that hip hop made, because what hip hop did was there were gatekeepers in hip hop, and they ensured that if you don't fit into the system of hip hop, you would lose credibility. And that system was, if you're not a black man, and sometimes women were allowed in, but it was a very patriarchal structure that were gatekeepers of hip hop. And what did that result in? That resulted in people rebelling. Once like mainstream media fell apart and there were no more gatekeepers in mainstream media, that now meant that people on the internet could create whatever they want to create. And there was this new wave in the tens, right? In the tens, there was this like new wave of like white rappers across the internet. They were just all just like rapping because like they were like, dude, we want to rap too. We saw Eminem. Why was Eminem the only one that was allowed to do it? And they did that, and then they became huge, and then they changed rap forever, right? Rap is different now. Black people have benefited from rap and are still benefiting from it and still have a lot of the credibility. But the reason why now rap has been appropriated and it's just gone in so many ways is because people are gatekeepers. And so if we are too much of gatekeepers with Afrobeats, the same thing could happen. My thing is not for Afrobeats, the industry, to gatekeep, but for Afrobeats to educate people and to ensure that if anyone's appropriating it, there's some level of compensation, whether that is financial compensation or whether that's like acknowledgement, right? But for us, if we just see some artist that completely rips off an Afrobeat song, we're coming for you. And Doja Cat, I'm looking at you. Afrobeats musicians have to be strategic, and there are many areas that they can focus on to ensure that they dominate and they actually benefit from the music even more so than they're benefiting now. I'm going to focus on the 3 areas they really need to be looking to.
New York, LA, Chicago, we're pretty covered in those areas. The music plays on radio and stuff like that. But what's not happening is it's not penetrating the right places at a rapid enough rate. Now, what I mean by that is, for example, you can go to Iowa, and while there'll be a ton of Nigerians there who played in a club every weekend, there's nobody really trying to push for it to get on Iowa radio. You know what I mean? And because that's where the real earnings are from, like performance, public performance, right? That's where, like for us as publishers, that's where we make money. Or there's nobody pushing for, the festival that happens in maybe Louisiana to have enough African artists on there so that people can actually get booked. So it's just like I feel like we're content with just having the music playing in the clubs. And then, especially in the non-major cities, but it's those other places where there's like millions of people. That's where you really need to penetrate. You need to get on radio there. You need to get on the festivals. You need to get in the scene. That's how you'll really see the earnings for these artists.
Another area that they can benefit is through language and having stronger songwriters. Does language matter?
It does.
Well, the reason why I ask is because we have artists that are literally putting out gibberish.
Okay.
So they're actually putting out gibberish, no language, nothing. And that's a massive
song. Technically they're singing in a language, but yes, they may be, look, so for example, give me an example of an artist.
Maybe
Yeah, but that's no, but that's. I mean, it's like we like, Omame, Kaiwanya, you all that. Like that's he's speaking pidgin.
No,
Like,
he actually has admitted that.
no, yeah, fine. Like it's gibberish, but it's gibberish we understand.
Cause he yo, baby, yo. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like what I mean? Nah, I don't know. All vibes. I don't know what it means, bro. And I played the song for my manager and he was like, it's cool. Live it that way. I was like, you sure? It was like, yeah, the people will feel it. I left it that way.
I don't think
Majority. Let's see. Majority of.
There might be 2 or 3 words in there that is understood. Mm-hmm. But the majority of the song is actual gibberish.
No, but the majority of the people who listen to it understand it.
What is it about?
It's maybe I'm trying to have a nice time. Like let's I'm gonna make I fire you and all that. Like it's like I'm trying to have a nice time. Let's party. Let's it's a pop song.
It's a pop song with no lyrics.
It's you're harping on the lyrics here. Like
I actually want to move into that.
Well, because I mean at the end of the day, like what do the Migos say at the end of the day?
But they are speaking. It's actually like English they're speaking.
They're speaking English that how many people can understand? Come on, you know what I mean? So it's not like and don't get me wrong, I love them. I vibe to that stuff all day. But if we're comparing here, because I feel like you're trying to be. It's unfair to Rema to say he's speaking gibberish.
I don't know what that means. All vibes. I don't know what it means, bro.
Okay, fine. He is speaking gibberish, right? But it's unfair to say it's like. Because we talk about language, right? That was what you brought up. He's speaking pidgin English, and with added, gibberish and little nuances in there that we understand. We get what he's doing, and it's the same way I would say the Migos. They speak English, obviously, but they're using slang that heck half of America doesn't understand, but they vibe to it.
That said, the Migos aren't winning that many Grammys. The Migos aren't winning that many awards. And as we've seen with Burna Boy, good, strong writing can really result in awards. And awards mean international recognition. It opens you up to more opportunities. Yes, as an individual, you might not recognize the importance of a Grammy, but when brands want to approach you, when business wants to approach you, these things matter. Another way that Afrobeats can truly penetrate globally is the inclusion of female artists. And when it comes down to it, when it comes to building strong fan bases, when it comes to building more attachment to music personalities, women tend to go further than men. And unfortunately, Afrobeats hasn't invested in enough female talent. And that can really be a determining factor, in building strong musicians, not just from a musical perspective, but more importantly, from building a bigger fan base around Afrobeats and Afrobeats musicians. So the inclusion of women is going to be completely necessary. And not only that, if you only include half of your population, you will only reach 50% or even less of your growth potential. So women must be included in Afrobeats. But why haven't women been included in the first place?
It's male dominated because, in my opinion, I think it's easier to promote. Well, easier is not the word, it's cheaper to promote a male artist versus a female artist. Speaking from experience, yeah, I mean, for male artists, it's pretty much, I'll just come out and say it, like, boys are dirty. Boys are boys, right? Especially when they're like up and coming or they're young. Like you can have just artists like they can take care of themselves, and with female artists it's more so you have to be more delicate, and it costs more in a sense. Like there's hair, there's makeup, there's outfits, right? And then it also depends on, first of all, it depends on the brand of the female artist, but generally, right, we can say majority of female artists will have hair, makeup, and outfits to deal with, whereas a male artist has a barber, who he cuts his hair like once every 2 weeks or once every week or 10 days or something. So, and it's cheap, come on. Outfits, male outfits on a basic keel do not cost as much as female outfits. And it's like, so all those things just, when you think about them, they really add up. Like over time, they really add up because it's like, you know, you think about club appearances or shows, whatever it is, interviews, whatever it is, like for a guy, he can wear the same shoes, you know, to at least 2 or 3 of those places, right? Whereas with the female, she has to change every time because you have to switch it up every time. You know, some female artists wear different wigs or different colored wigs, or it's just more expensive. And I think that cost is a deterrent, honestly, to investors. It's just like literally plain and simple. That's my opinion. But if you get it right with a female artist, it's definitely more lucrative. So for those who are brave enough to, whether male or female, to go into the business of funding a female artist, you can definitely like reap a lot of rewards from it, for sure. Like for sure.
Afrobeats is going to the next level, and we're just gonna have to watch and see where it goes. Please, guys, like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Welcome to Ask, the Artist Starter Kit. This course is for musicians that are serious and ready to take their career to the next level. In this short, to the point course, I'm going to teach you how to build an artist identity and persona that helps you build a cult following. I'm also going to teach you how to market yourself on social media effectively so you can build a strong following today. I'm going to teach you how to market yourself and position yourself so that the media, the press want to feature you on their platforms. Most importantly, this course is going to teach you how to bootstrap your career and get the ball rolling. What I'm teaching you in this course is stuff that people just really aren't teaching you. My name is Kenimo, and I'm a media entrepreneur, and I've been in the entertainment industry for 17 years. I've worked with musicians, with artists. I've, worked in film. I've worked in broadcast journalism, broadcast television. I've worked in a lot of different aspects in the media ecosystem, and I'm going to give you my perspective, my unique perspective, and how to craft a media story around you, how to create content that is compelling and draws viewers into you, and how to build a public persona that will create a core cult following that are rooting for you endlessly. And how do I know all this? Well, not only have I worked with musicians, but also as a filmmaker, I craft stories, whether it's for the news or whether it's for scripted content. I'm going to put all these ingredients, all my media training together to teach you how to approach the music industry in the 21st century. This course is going to be different because I'm giving you that media perspective, how to make yourself marketable, how to make yourself attractive, how to make yourself stand out from the crowd so that you can get to your goal of becoming a professional musician. So guys, if you are ready to take your career to the next level and really seriously build your career, purchase the course now. All right, I'll see you there.